Well, with just 6 days to go until the midterm elections, President Trump begins a final campaign push tonight. He'll be in Florida campaigning for Republican candidate for Governor Ron DeSantis and other GOP nominees. He plans 11 rallies before Election Day to help Republicans keep control of Congress.
House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi predicted victory, surprise, for her party on CBS's Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night.
Well, let me say this. Up until today, I would have said if the election were held today, we would win.
What happened today that changed that?
What now I'm saying is we will win. We will win. We will win.
Ed O'Keefe is with us from Washington to explain to us what exactly that means, because she seemed to say the same thing twice. Yeah. Ed, it is constitutionally required for a party leader to say they are going to win.
Yes, it is.
So given that, is she right to be confident?
Not necessarily, because, again, while we project that Democrats are going to retake the House, the only way that happens this year is if Democrats meet and exceed turnout that we've seen in previous midterm or non-presidential elections. And that is a high bar in several of these states where they're trying to win seats. Again, they need to net 23 seats in order to retake the majority. That sounds like very little, but given the way the maps are drawn across the country, they look like lizards or snakes or paint on a wall, and they've been drawn by Republicans to advantage them. It's going to be tricky in some of these races to find enough Democrats and left-leaning independents to show up. So, yes, she is paid to say that. She has to say that. But she isn't necessarily correct until we see exactly who is showing up to vote.
That's the question I was thinking. I'm thinking now about the millennials, Ed. You know, the statistics show that 40% of them will turn up. How important is the millennial vote? Because they are a big number.
Yeah, big number, and really the future biggest voting bloc in this country. Some surveys suggest they say they're going to show up. Others say they don't, but that's like asking a kid, are you going to eat your peas? Yeah, sure, I'm going to eat your peas, and then they don't eat their peas, okay? We'll see, again, whether they show up or not, but surveys suggest, history has shown, that the young folks don't necessarily show up to vote. Is this year any different? Could be. But again, we won't know till Tuesday.
Ed, you sound skeptical. I can tell you what I can tell you what Republicans don't want to be talking about, and that is Congressman Stephen King.
Right.
What is the controversy that he is in right now?
Look, this Iowa congressman has a history of saying incendiary things about immigrants, associating himself or sounding sympathetic to white nationalists. Most recently, he met with members of a far-right Austrian political party and met with them during a trip that was essentially a Holocaust education trip, and then later said something to the effect of, if these guys were Americans, they'd be Republicans. Well, that sparked a bit of a concern from top Republicans. The guy who's in charge of getting House Republicans elected across the country yesterday said those are exactly the kind of comments we don't need. King clarified his comments in a statement saying, look, you know, we're all human beings, and this has just been whipped up by the fake news. Bottom line, King probably holds on in a district, again, that favors Republicans, but he is facing probably the re-election of his life. He hasn't spent much money. His Democrat opponent has spent far more than he has, and in these closing days is facing greater scrutiny and questions about whether he really is fit to be in office.
Yep, let's go back to what your mom said. Words matter. Thank you very much, Ed. Good to see you.
Take care, Gail.